Hello everyone, this is just a very quick video about one of the most interesting bits of Bishopwearmouth Cemetery, and it's the family vault for the Turnbull family. It's quite unique in Bishopwearmouth Cemetery because it's the only sort of above ground burial vault in the whole cemetery for some reason. It's absolutely huge. I'll just have a quick look at it. But there are sort of other vaults, but the more sort of, how would best describe it, along this bank right up to the chapel, some of the more expensive graves. They're like brick graves where they would take a slab off and put family members underneath the slabs and then cover the slab up. Like there's one up here, I'll give you an example here. Generally these were only for the well-to-do to afford a great big brick grave like these. They go all the way along this bank. That's one for the Anna Louisa Clark, where as you can see, the huge plots. So in them there'll be loads of family members, and this one is absolutely huge. So that's for the burial place of George and Jane Clark of Bishopwearmouth. Look at the size of that. Absolutely massive. So under here there'd be like, as you can see, the slabs on top. So there'd be like brick compartments underneath where the coffins would be placed. So you couldn't actually go down, and there weren't like cellars or anything like that. Not like the ones you see like in Highgate Cemetery where you come down to steps into them and you actually walk in them. But I think this George Clark, is he not there? Something to do with the shipyards. Probably with a memorial that huge. But this one for the Turnbull family is unique. I think there's one like it at Mere Knolls, but they're not really common in Sunderland. The only other place which had lots of vaults, which was the Guild Cemetery. It was about 24. It's right next to where the eye infirmary is being built, but they're covered up now, they're way below the surface. So this one is for members of the Turnbull family. Not all of them are actually mentioned here, I don't believe are buried here. So look at this, sacred to the memory of Thomas Scott Turnbull, born October 28th, 1825, and he died March the 22nd, 1880. From memory, he started up a business down near the High Street. I think he was a drapery type of thing, and he became one of the wealthiest men in Sunderland, I think, from Newcastle. But look, also Frederick, third son of the above, born June the 15th, 1858, and perished with all hands in the Great Queensland, which sailed from Gravesend on the 6th of August, 1876. And also Elizabeth Turnbull, widow of the above, who died on the first day of March, 1889, aged 63 years. Obviously Frederick isn't buried here because I believe that ship was never seen again. I think it was carrying a cargo of explosive or fertiliser, something along those lines, and disappeared. And then it's got a memory of John Turnbull. It is part of this life, April 24th, 1866, in the 80th year of his age. And then there's Mary Musgrave, she died 1871. So from memory, I think John is the father of Thomas Scott Turnbull, and Mary Musgrave was his mother. There's also somebody else buried here. There was a random woman who died in London who doesn't even have a Turnbull surname, who's buried in this particular spot. As you can see, it's quite large. And I'm guessing these things here were originally vents, but they've been bricked up to let air in. I posted some of these pictures on Facebook a couple of years ago, and somebody mentioned that I can remember back in the 70s, you could actually see inside here. There was like iron gates on, you could see down and you could see coffins on the shelves, but now it's been bricked up and then concrete plastered against it so nobody can get in. So literally in these places you could actually open the gates, there'd be some, it'll go down a little bit underneath and you could go in, walk in, like kneel down and put coffins and then close it all up again. And there's another one of the vents. I'll just have a look up on the top because I can't see right up the top, see if you can see anything different up there. I think Mr. Turnbull, I think he might have been a mayor as well. I've done a story about him, but I've done so many I can't remember all of them. But that's where it is. We're just on the path up to the Southern Chapel, which is Southern Cemetery Chapel, I should say, which is just up here. If you ever come here, you need to have a look at this grave here. This is for John McCrae, born 4th of July 1832. He sadly died 18th of August 1864. And then there's Emily McCrae, born 2nd of October 1860. She died 1862. And then there's John Albert McCrae. He was born 1st of March 1862 and he died 1863. And then there's Martha, the wife and mother of those two infants. Now the sad story with all this is there was a family of 2 parents and 2 children, and within the space of, what is that, from 1862 up to 1869, all 4 of them were dead. The story I did about this is called The Family, so if you're in Sunderland history, just search for The Family. I think he was a solicitor from memory, and they lived down Frederick Street and Foyle Street. So sadly Martha lost her 2 infants and her husband, all in the space, what's that, literally in just over 2 years she lost her husband and 2 infants, and so on. And by coincidence, John McCrae's father, Thomas Hall McCrae, this is his grave, and it mentions all of his children on that. A lot of them lived, I don't know, there'll be others which weren't, but Thomas Hall McCrae, he brought the family to Sunderland. I think he lived at Blythe before that, but I think his origins were over, I should remember, I think it was the Isle of Skye, or I think it was the Isle of Skye actually, with a name like McCrae. That makes about right, so thank you. Right, that was just a short video just about the vault, and as you can see, just right on that corner there. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy that, please give it a like, and if you want to, click on the subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care everybody, see you later.